Samuel.
Let's get into it.
Let's get it started. I think I just found my karaoke song.
Oh, that would be amazing.
You're listening to another Woodshop podcast, the okayest podcast of its type. Your hosts are Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks and Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop. You can find them as well as the podcast on your favorite social media platforms.
Welcome to episode 174 of another Woodshop podcast, where this week we're joined by the queen of DIY. She picked up a hammer at 16 and used it to build a media empire around her and her projects. Now she uses her psychology experience to get into your heads and figure out exactly what you want to see in her videos. She uses her skills in DIY and she turns, oh God, why, into oh my. I'm extremely excited to welcome the tiny but mighty Sam from the DIY Huntress. Woo!
Can I just literally hire you to hype me up everywhere I go, because that was amazing.
He just goes into a room before you and starts saying all those things
in a mirror. Yeah. I keep pointing at myself.
Anytime I enter a room, I'm going to need you to enter first and just do that entire thing all over again. Okay.
Just the master of ceremony.
And people are going to be like, oh God, Sam's here again.
That is the reputation I want for myself for the rest of my life.
And then they go,
to be that woman. Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of where are they, Dan?
Let's talk about our patrons and where they are. That was a very smooth transition.
That was a great segue.
We nailed it.
Professional.
Let's talk about our patrons. We don't have any new patrons to announce this week. Breaks my heart. But I do want to still give a shout out to our VIP patrons. This week, they're coming at you in alphabetical order by email. They are as follows: Justin from Cavalry Customs, Bill Burkle from WTB Woodworking, Jacob Miller from A Sweet Shop, Malcolm over at Bossa Woodworks, Matthew Hoff of Matthews Woodworking, Matt Maynard of Patriotic Pines, Michael Flickinger, Nick Brim Woodworking, Patrick Gensel, Victor Aragama, The Square Splinter, Steve Iadarola, and Max and Mindy Coons of Stubby K Studio. Woo! Thank you to each and every one of you guys. We appreciate what you do for us. We appreciate all our patrons. If you want to be a patron in the Met Army, you can join us over on patreon.com/another Woodshop podcast and sign up over there.
Woo! Yeah,
Love
that's a great place. So we're growing our little meh army. And thank you to all of our 5-star meh generals with the $20 tier. You guys literally keep the lights on. And
we appreciate all our patrons.
Yeah.
Everyone.
All of them, yes. Well, it doesn't keep the lights on at Dan's house. It's got that dark background.
Yeah, it's real dark in there, actually.
I've been trying to get Dan to have some nice background lights or something. Little ambiance.
Well, my technology stops at the microphone. The light is coming from a
light bulb is no longer technology, Dan.
No, the light is coming from a butane lantern.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I got a nice $10 ring light staring at me. I'll send you my affiliate link, and then you can purchase that.
You got it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I only want to see it if it's through a TikTok shop. Well, the other people that are helping to keep the lights on is this week's sponsor and next week's thing that we're doing, Maker Camp. I'm super excited.
Host next week.
They're going to be the hosts. So we're super excited to have partnered up with Maker Camp, because it is legitimately one of, or it's probably the most favorite event that Dan and I have every year, and really looking forward to it. Dan's flying in next week. We're going to pregame and then hit the ground running on Friday. Can't wait to get hands-on with all the stuff, make some projects and make some new memories, because it's always so fun to meet up with everyone. And Sam's going to be there this year.
I know. It got a little dicey. It got a little dicey there. I actually wasn't sure I was gonna be able to make it, and now literally all I can keep doing is thinking about Maker Camp. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
I love Maker Camp as much as I love a good meatloaf,
which is a lot.
That is a lot. So that is a really big compliment for Maker
3
Camp.
pounds of love.
I hope one day they make a poster and that is the endorsement that is on it with your name attached.
And a thing of meatloaf equals Maker Camp, just as great.
100%. Yeah.
I think I just found my Maker Camp giveaway swap thing.
Meatloaf? Oh God. But it has to be encased in resin.
He's gonna be like, Maker Camp was great. I give it 5 loaves of meat.
5 meatloaves.
Well, you mentioned the swap thing. That's one of the other things that's there. So obviously there's gonna be a bunch of tents. There's gonna be
The maker
the
swap.
woodworking tent, the jewelry tent. There's the woodworking tent and a whole bunch of projects within them. There's usually some kind of activity that is there that you kind of get to start one tent and go around like a scavenger hunt. You get to see some of your favorite YouTubers, content creators, and friends from the community. And there's 3 ways to join us. You can, of course, you can also join us virtually and follow our stories and stuff. But if you just have time to go up for the day and you want to check out the place, get to see everyone, you can do the spectator pass. It's only $23, guys. It's really nothing. So it's
so
totally
worth
worth it. That's what we did the first year, Dan. We didn't even do the hands-on. It was great. It still had a great time. There's also the Maker Day Pass. So if you want to do a day pass, it's $90 or $93 plus some fees.
Is that good for one day?
That's for the one day. I believe it's for the one day. You know what? Now it's a one-day ticket. One-day ticket.
All right.
And then you have the full silver pass. So that's $243, something like that, with some fees on there. And that's the entire weekend. And that includes your camping spot, and you can be hands-on with all the fun activities. So it's super fun. And that includes,
me.
I believe, and Dan, you can be hands-on with Dan. That's one of their clauses. And of course, I believe there's usually a barbecue of some kind. So the barbecue I'm really excited for on Saturday or Sunday, whatever that is. So yeah, make sure to join us. It's not too late to sign up and get a spot. At least come up for the day. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We can't wait. But right now, I can't wait to talk to our guest.
Hi.
It's Sam.
Oh yeah, Sam's here.
Sam's
here. I'm here.
I didn't see her
been a
down there.
while. I
So
know.
Sam,
it's really easy to miss me.
You're one of the few people we've had on multiple times now.
yeah,
Oh my goodness, I feel
Exclusive
so
club.
this is what 2 or 3 times now.
Two. I think
Two?
my second time. Yeah.
Let's make this a habit. I like this.
I
This
love
is
this.
good. Good energy. You know
Second
how to
time
yes
being
man.
on, 7th time we've invited her.
yeah.
This guy.
Her agent just doesn't get back to us at all.
They
know.
tell us no all the time.
Right in the spam folder. It's awful.
You gotta like do that thing where you like catch me coming out of like an ice cream shop and you're like, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
That's how we get guests.
So Sam, why have we been fighting to have you on? If you could explain to our listeners that have been living under a meatloaf who you are and why we love you and your content so much. Go.
Oh, well, I'm Sam from the DIY Huntress. Actually, I've been having this conversation. Like, am I the DIY Huntress or is my brand DIY Huntress and I'm from DIY
I have
Huntress?
no idea how much I had to think about
think
this
you
myself
are
when I was writing the intro.
Yeah,
DIY Hunter. You have to say the.
Or is
right?
You got to own it.
Is it
I'm
like
gonna
the
own it.
Doors?
Yeah, right. Like this is like my band name. So so I'm Sam. I'm I guess the DIY Huntress. And it still feels weird to say this, even though it's been a full year, but I am a full-time woodworker and home improvement content creator. It's wild to say that out loud, honestly. Like in these things, it still feels weird, and it's been a full year.
That's crazy. I remember you
Awesome.
went full time right before Maker Camp last year, and I remember there was a whole thing
Yeah, I
about
remember
like,
it
you
was
trying to
September.
launch your Patreon.
Oh my god, that
and
was such drama. I was so mad. So like I basically had this whole video that was the weekend actually. I always do this thing where I love to post videos when I'm away at an event and then everything goes wrong. And then every time I'm like, I'm never going to do that again. And I never learned my lesson. Like, let's just put that out there. So this is
Let's do it while
100%
you're
my
at Maker
fault.
Camp and can't get internet.
Oh no. I literally have a
Wasn't
really
that?
important video. I have a very important video going up that weekend. Cause again, I don't learn my lesson.
Perfect.
So I was launching, I know, right? I was launching my big, like, I quit video that weekend because I was like, what a great idea. I'll launch it when I'm in the middle of the Catskills with no service. And my Patreon was supposed to launch that day, but Patreon forgot to toggle my page to public. Like
They
it
didn't
was
flip the
still,
switch.
yeah, they didn't flip
Didn't
the
flip
switch. And they were supposed to flip the switch like it was like 2 days before. And I was like, man, so I was really bummed because I felt like I was so excited to tell everybody, like, I'm full-time. Because people always ask, like, how can we support you? Like, people at the time were like, how do we get you to go
ever asked me that.
full-time?
What's that like?
Oh my God, how can I support you? I'm here. I'm here for you.
You're here. That's enough.
Just tell me I'm good enough. That's really
You
all I
are
need.
good enough. And like your mom loves you so much and we love you so much.
Hey, Dan, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Wait a minute. I didn't realize we were going to get into psychology over here.
No, well, let's
Hold on,
not
let me put
use
my-
her evil powers on us because we don't have 3
Yeah,
hammers.
kick those feet up. This is your first pro bono, like your first and only pro bono. Kick those feet up.
Let's do this at Maker Camp while drinking tequila.
Oh,
I
yeah.
should just have a
Yeah.
booth. I should have a booth like those fortune tellers did, where it was like 25 cents and like they tell you your fortune, except I
like
just like
the,
psychoanalyze you.
Boozy
like those-
therapy with the DIY hunters.
I was gonna say like the like Lucy from Peanuts.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
5 cents. Yeah.
5 cents.
What was my nickname? The DI Mind Huntress.
Oh yeah, the DI Mind Hunters. I like that.
Just has a ring to it. I love it.
I love it.
When I start my own therapy practice, that might be what it's called. Just saying.
Well, I think the goal now is that you won't have to because you'll be a successful, or you are a successful
I was gonna say will be. Wow.
You will be.
media.
It's good to have goals,
conglomerate.
Sam. You will be.
I have to say though, like now that I have been doing this full time for a year, there are definitely days where I do miss practicing psychology. And mostly I think it's the biggest thing is that there's like a really special human connection there, and it really is such a rewarding field to be in. And like not that content creation isn't, and it's very rewarding like a different way, but I definitely like have moments where I do miss that. And so at some point, like I have to study for this test because it's not enough to have your PhD in New York. You got to do like this whole license and this test and this study program. So like my goal is to eventually do that so I can still practice like a couple hours a week and still keep that in my life. But yeah, I will say though, I do not regret doing the content creation thing full time. Like that is for sure not a regret that I have.
That's awesome.
I mean, doing this full time, you're probably not nearly as busy as you once were, right? Is that correct?
Crickets.
Isn't that how that,
Yeah,
isn't that how that
crickets.
works?
No, I like this is the one thing that people told me and I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen to me. But like everyone was like, you're gonna be so much busier when you go full time because like
you have
not
time.
yeah, well, because not only that, but like you don't have a steady paycheck anymore, right? So like especially if you're someone like me who very much relies on producing content and like sponsored content to pay my mortgage because like they're not going to accept resin as a payment.
Damn it.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, but yeah, so I definitely find myself saying like no to opportunities a lot less often and then like burning myself out a little bit because I just feel like I have to take everything that comes because I don't have a paycheck to fall back on.
Yeah, you don't have a guaranteed income and you just want to make sure that there's money coming into the coffers, right?
Totally. And like it's hard. And even though like I have so many streams of income right now, and you still fall into that mental trap no matter how stable you are of like, I'm worried that this is not enough when you're like an entrepreneur, you're a business person, right? Because you also have like, you know, your business expenses and then you want to hire people and you want to like grow your business, but then you like still worry about like, am I going to have enough money to feed myself some months? But like, it's
how much is ramen again?
Yeah, right. Like, ramen is always an option. But and I will say like it when you get to a point where you feel comfortable in your business, that fear is a little bit irrational. Like there is some of that irrational thinking that's happening because you know that you're going to be just fine, but it still doesn't prevent you from like working your ass off and like hustling all the time because you still have that pinging nervousness in the back of your mind, you know?
Yeah, but I think it's nice because I think it truly brings out what you genuinely want to do. Yeah, it's a bit of like a fight or flight, like, oh, I gotta make ends meet. But once you're no longer like making ends meet, you're just doing it because you're passionate about it. I feel like sometimes with the job, when you're done, you just clock out, but like you don't give it your all because it's not yours, first of all. And second of all, it's like you're done. You don't have to think about it anymore. But when it's something you're passionate about, I feel like you want to keep the ball rolling, keep the good vibes going. Yeah,
it's like a involuntary reflex. You just thinking about it.
It's also like the curse of us being makers and having creative brains that are on overdrive all the time, right? Like, you know, you do one thing and then immediately you're so ready to do the next thing because that felt so rewarding.
That's nice of you to think that I'm creative. Thank you.
You are, Dan.
You are so creative and we love you and like, we support you.
This is a big support system. I love it. Well, let's backpedal a little bit. You touched on some subject that I have questions on, but let's let's kind of backtrack to this. And you started your blog 10 years ago.
Which is
or
wild.
over
Yes.
10 years ago. Yeah. And then
2012, I pressed publish on my first post.
so almost 13 years now, right? So you got 13 years of that. You got 7 years of YouTube. 7 years ago, you got bullied by your blog audience into making your first video. And
and then I made one video and I was like, never again. And then it took me like basically 2 years to make another one.
But you did one. You started in 2016. So like, what were the catalysts, or what made you take those 2 steps? Because those are pretty big steps. First going with the blog, then I think you got your first brand deal 2 years later, and you were like, well, I can make money with this.
Yeah.
And then the YouTube, like, what were the catalysts for all of them?
So with the blog was a funny one because I had just like always, so the reason, backtrack a little bit, like DIY Huntress is my brand name, is because I used to get picked on by my family all the time for being like a bargain hunter and like always looking for deals, and like on Facebook and Craigslist and like dumpster diving and like looking for cheap things that I could like customize, because I was like a broke college kid. And like I was that kid in high school who like rearranged my room every week, and I like bring home like a stranger's dresser, and my mom was like, why do we have 10 dressers in this bedroom? Like that was me. So like for me, like I just was always building stuff, and like my dad taught me such great basics that like I was able to do so much stuff myself. And one day one of my friends was just like, you should like blog about this and tell people how to do this stuff and show people how you're customizing these things you find on the curb and like how cool that is. And I was like, what the hell is a blog? Like I had no fucking clue. I'm like, what is a blog? And so she told me about it, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll start a blog. So I started a blog, and then I, with the blog, was like sharing stuff on Facebook, and it just like really grew out of nowhere. And I was just, the next thing I knew, I had like at least 1,000 people within a couple months following it. And I was like, what is this? And then people were like, oh, you're making money off of this, right? And I was like, people pay you to like put things on a blog?
Tell me more.
I
was like, tell me more. I had no idea. But yeah, so I would say about like 2 years into that, yeah, like I finally was like, oh my God, people pay you for this, because I got offered a paid sponsorship by DAP. Actually, DAP Products was my first sponsor.
Back then? That's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, I still work with them to this day. Like they were my first sponsor ever, and we are still like going strong. Like, you know, they put a ring on it, I put a ring on it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of my journey into the content creation world, and what a wild ride it's been since then.
So you were flipping furniture before furniture flipping became cool and like mainstream.
Yeah,
you're like furniture flipping hipster,
basically. Like, you know, like, okay, so you know when you go into like this is like kind of off topic but kind of on topic, you know, you go to like a wine store and you see like a wine bottle with your date that you were born in, and they call it vintage wine, like, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm old. Yes. So like sometimes I'll look at my content and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm old. Like the things that I was like but no, like sometimes like I'll look at it and I'll be like, yeah, like the stuff that I was doing back then seemed so cool, and now it's like so outdated. But like furniture flipping was my jam for a long time, until I started learning how to build custom furniture. And now I look back at that stuff and I'm like, who let me publish this? It's so embarrassing.
Well, it's still, I mean, you're still getting click-through rate through all that old stuff. I don't think it's all dead. It's pretty evergreen content with blogs, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's there forever. It's funny because I still have some really popular posts from like 8-9 years ago that I want to delete so badly because they're so embarrassing to me, but like they're still doing well. Why would I delete it? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
as long as it's doing well, who cares?
Exactly.
Well, so I mean, you're clearly crushing it. You've figured it out. Also, we watched your live yesterday, or I did.
We did.
Watch your, yeah, Dan's gonna watch your live. But like you're clearly crushing it, and we love talking about, you know, especially for people that are doing this full time, because a lot of our listeners would love to do this full time, including Dan and I. You know, Dan is doing it full time, but like what are, you know, you talk about your revenue streams and having multiples, and obviously you don't need to throw out any numbers, but like, can you talk about what the revenue streams are? Like what supports what you do?
Yeah, totally. And I think that for anybody who's thinking about going full time, this is really important, because you want to make sure that if there is one revenue stream that is not paying you out for a month, that you have other things that are supplementing that to a degree. And that pie chart is never going to be even. Like those revenue streams are always going to look different and pay you out in different ways. But my biggest thing was I knew that I wanted to make a certain amount of money every month off of passive income revenue streams before I was comfortable quitting my full-time job, because if at any point sponsorships decided to dry up, which they're not, like that's going strong for a lot of creators right now, but you know, I just wanted to make sure that if sponsorships dried up tomorrow, like I could still pay all of our mortgage, I could still pay our bills, like I could still go grocery shopping. So in terms of income streams, the ones that I really had set up before I left my full-time job were, I have ads that run on my blog, which there are different ad networks that you can apply for with that. I had revenue coming in from YouTube, so like ads on YouTube. I have plans that I sell online as PDF plans, so people are buying like a decent amount of plans. I sell apparel, so that's another revenue stream. Social media at the time was like doing well because there were Reels bonuses, and like we all have feelings about that. But there are still some social media streams, like Facebook still pays out on ads pretty well if you're active on Facebook. So like that was a revenue stream as well. And then in addition to that, I also had the sponsorships lined up. So that right there is 6 that I had before I left my job. And now that I'm full-time, I'm adding on to that. I just did recorded an e-course with like, you know, some small creators you might have heard of, you know, like Cam from Blacktail Studios, or
Never heard
Brad from Fix This Build That, or
No idea.
Chris from Four
I'll bang
Eyes, or
him.
John from Lincoln Street. So like we
Who
just
are
did a
those
course.
people?
I know, right? Like who are these people? So we just did a course, like that's gonna be another revenue stream. Hopefully people buy it. I think it's awesome. We're just sharing a lot of knowledge there for people who want to go full time. But yeah, like I'm constantly looking for different ways every single year to like try to add another revenue stream if I can.
That's
What-
awesome.
I want to dive a little bit into the course thing. What in general is in the course? Is it how to be a DIYer, or is it how to do DIY as a full-time job? Or
Yeah, it's basically about how to leverage your brand online, right? So it's really tailored for people who want to do content creation full time.
nice.
Or maybe even don't want to do it full time, but want to learn how to like maximize their revenue streams and their growth on different platforms. So it's like a 5-hour course. It's so long. We each cover, you know, certain chapters. My big chapter, I talk about sponsorships, how to reach out to sponsors, where to start, what to charge, how to keep those relationships going for years and years. I share resources, like that's my specific
brilliant.
chapter.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's any other course out there like that, is there? Let's say no.
No.
Yeah. Well,
No,
also
this is the only
too,
one.
I think the thing that's cool about this is like you have a bunch of makers, and like while it's not tailored for makers, like really there's so much general information that anybody in any niche can talk about. Like the fact that you have 5 people who are all kind of in the same industry sharing their knowledge is really cool. And we have a live component. So like for anybody who purchases the course, at the end of the module that you do, or the chapter that you do, at the end of the week, there's a live where like whoever ran the chapter, we have a live session with whoever bought the course, and we can like talk about questions or like clarify things, or
Very
kind
cool.
of have like a little bit of like some quality time together. So it's really cool. If you guys are cool with it, like I'll drop a link, and then if anybody wants
we'll
to
put it
check
in the
it
show
out,
notes, absolutely. And
but
is this
I think it's
mostly
super valuable.
video, audio, written? Like what kind of is it?
It
a
is
mix of
full
stuff?
video. So
Full video. Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was a write-in
Yeah.
thing, I was gonna.
Because
Yeah,
I ain't read no good.
You're good. You're good. We sat together for like 4 days, and we like recorded all these chapters. It's going to be very comprehensive. We have like documents that go with it, with resources.
I'm actually very interested.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. And I don't think like I know that this is going to be helpful. Like I've been doing this for over a decade, and just listening to these dudes like do their chapters, I even left that recording session and I was like, I have so many things to work on, you know? So even if you have been doing it for a while, I just feel like there's so much to learn and like so much knowledge to gain from it, which is really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that. And for below that link, I'm also going to include yesterday's live that you did with John from Lincoln Street, which
Perfect,
is basically them talking with a live chat about all things dealing with brands. And it's really good. It was phenomenal to listen to. There was some parts that I was like, okay, yes, I'm good. I'm doing that right. And there's some stuff that I was like, oh, well, let me write that down. That's important. So it's like you're still gonna walk away with something from that, and it's worth it. And then you can also watch it with the live chat going during the thing, so you can follow along with the questions and stuff that people are asking. So that was a great watch.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm
I
excited
actually
for
got
this
to watch
course.
yeah,
It
it's cool.
was a
And I
great
got
watch.
to watch yeah. I know, right? You enjoyed it so much. I know. I actually got to like finalize watching my chapter because we've been doing like a lot of reviewing and edits and all these things today. And I was like, oh man, like I kind of look like I know what I'm talking about. So
You do.
like it was kind of cool. But my chapter is like almost about 30 minutes of just talking about working with sponsors and like where to start and how to keep going. So I think
When's that
it's
live?
really awesome. When is
When
the
is it
course
live?
the course is so there's like an open cart period where like you can sign up for a couple weeks, but then we're closing it. So the open cart period is going to be starting next week, and then once the class actually goes live, like that's it. So like you have to try to definitely get in there if you're interested, because we're really only doing those live sessions once.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Now, speaking of revenue streams, there's one that you omitted, and I'm wondering if it is a revenue stream. Congrats on 2 years in a bike shop. That's
Yeah,
big milestone. Is that one of the revenue streams as well?
I guess like from a family perspective, yes.
Mhm.
I guess from like my personal business perspective, no, only because like I don't consider it an umbrella of DIY Huntress, but it's been doing great. I'm knocking on all the wood. 2 years, it's so wild. Like I just feel like you blink and 2 years goes by so fast.
I remember you just like putting stuff on walls and building a counter for that place. And now it's 2 years.
I know, it's wild, but it's fun. And like it's fun to see people get excited about it too. And like that, where our bike shop is, they had a bike shop that unfortunately closed like right at the beginning of the pandemic. And so that community was really craving like a bike shop. And so they've just been so welcoming and so cool. And like we're just so grateful for the support, because running a small business, as you guys know, as I'm sure a lot of people who are listening know, it's not easy. And especially when you have the overhead of like an actual brick and mortar, like there's a whole other level of that not being easy. So we are just so grateful that we are just trucking into year 2 right now.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
And well, I have one more question, which is like what's the next like revenue stream? We jokingly we're talking about DIY like Huntress, but like is there any like products or a line of DIY Huntress furniture or rugs or whatever? I feel like that could very much potentially be in your wheelhouse. Like you have some kind of like line coming out somewhere, like
the DI Mind
the
psychology
DI Mind.
podcast.
Yeah, Mind psychology
podcast.
Yeah, I think about this so often. Like at some point, you think about like your lofty goals, and like your goals change all the time based on like where you are in life and your business. And for me, like I did not expect to be full-time at this point in my life. Like I was still expecting, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I was like, nope, I'm not leaving my full-time job. Like that's not an option. And now that I am doing this full time, I am always thinking about like, what is the next thing that I really want to do? Having a home collection is definitely up there. Like, and I love designing furniture so much. Like you should see my brain. If it was like a beautiful mind, you could see all the things like float around my head like all the time. The amount of designs that I just have like cooking up my brain or like on paper are there's just so many of them. I'd love to find a way to make that happen. I also think it'd be really cool to have like a Huntress home collection. Like I just feel like that would sound like it has a nice
It
ring
just
to
rolls
it,
off the tongue.
right?
Yeah, you
like,
go into
exactly.
Target and you're like, oh my god, that's Sam's stuff.
Right? Like how cool would that be? Like what a dream. So that's definitely on the list. But I think in terms of like my next big move, I'm not gonna lie, I would freaking love to like flip a house with my dad. Like we did that when I was a teenager, and they were houses like he flipped for other people as the person contracted to do the work. But we've never had that opportunity to do that together and make it like have it be ours. And I feel like not only would that be so much fun, he would like steal the show on my channel. I probably would lose my channel to him, to be quite honest, because he's just too charismatic. But I actually told him like, if your head gets any bigger, it won't fit on my camera lens anymore, and like it's just not it's not gonna be pretty. But I think that would be way fun.
I think parents doing cameos on people's channels is always hilarious. It's always
Oh,
great.
wait for it. My grandma's making one soon. She's all
really?
excited. She's like, I'm gonna do my makeup and my hair. I can't wait. I'm like, I'm
The
so
original
excited.
Huntress.
Oh, she's gonna steal the show. I just know it.
Oh my God. That's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna
I
be great.
can't wait to see that.
Oh, that's so, and she's just such a ball of energy. Like, she's just the best. So she's an artist. She, like, that's what she did. So she does a lot of painting stuff. So we're gonna be doing some custom artwork for like this project together. And I'm really excited to get her involved because I definitely my artistic creative side comes from her 100%.
It all makes sense now.
It totally,
That's
right?
incredible.
Like,
I can't wait to see that. And I mean, the content's been very consistent. Last year, like, you've really been crushing it. It's been just so great to see you, like, not even miss a beat at all. Go, like,
I appreciate
you're really
that.
like, you leaned into it. And then the new house is coming along. You're finally getting all this stuff done. You know, the kitchen's finally done after like half a year.
Oh God, the kitchen. At that kitchen, I thought that was gonna be the end of me. Like, I was like, this kitchen's it. Like, that's it. Just I'm done. Like, I'm done after this.
I'm
Like,
retiring.
there's no coming back. There's no coming back from this. It's bittersweet because, yeah, like, the house is pretty much almost done. But you know, like, there are a couple things I obviously want to revisit. Like, you know, my guest room was the first room we did, but it had to be done quick because we needed a place to sleep while we were like living in the shell of a house. So like, I want to get back to that and like do it the way that I want. Or like, our basement's not done yet. I still haven't finished my workshop, which I swore would be the first thing I did when we closed on the house.
It looks decent though. It's better.
It
Yeah,
looks
I mean, it's
decent from what she
functioning.
shows you,
Yeah.
from what you can see online.
No, like, that's what it looks like right now.
Oh, okay. I was trying to help you out, Sam.
I mean, because you
I
moved in,
appreciate
you
it.
actually were you able to even use it in the beginning? Because I thought you had to do some work to it
Okay,
before you
yeah.
like set up.
So it was like half stocked with kitchen cabinets for a while. So it was like half storage, half garage for a while. And then when I finally was like, okay, we're doing this, and I started demoing, it was just like, you know, in a way, I'm grateful that we found all of the major problems in our house in the garage and not the house. But it was like infested with black mold and rot, and like all of the sheathing was rotted and like wet and like crumbling like cardboard. Like, some of the 2x4s and the sill plate, like it was just the roof, like everything. I ended up basically having to tear the entire thing down to the original studs and then rebuild it from there, which was like a huge cost that like I did not factor in. It was literally 2.5 times what I budgeted for my actual shop. And
that's,
if I remember
like, correctly, you got a crew
shop
in there. You didn't waste your time with it.
No,
right?
I was like, you know what? It was one of those things where I was just like, I can either spend months doing this by myself, because I do pretty much everything by myself, or I can get my contractor in here and him and his crew can do it in a month. And it ended up working better that way because the level of like black mold issues were so bad that it had to be like properly dealt with. And you know, you don't want to like work in that every day. It's so unhealthy.
Oh yeah.
So it really was so worth it to just have them come in and just do that. And then once they were done, everything else I was able to kind of start tackling, you know, like the floor and the custom cabinets, and have some ideas for like artwork in there. I got to do an outfeed table. But yeah, of course, we've been in the house for 2 years. And when we closed on the house, I was like, this is going to be the first project I do. And like 2 years later, Sean's like, reality really just got me on that one.
Well, that's the way it goes, doing any kind of DIY projects or whatever. I mean, nothing ever goes to plan, right?
No.
There's always a wrench in there.
And even though like that was the biggest thing too, going full time, I was like, well, now I'm gonna have so much time. All these projects are gonna get done so fast. Wrong, so wrong, wrong.
We have a plan. Nope.
Oh god, my home office
luck
just
with
took
that.
me over a month. Like, yeah, forget it. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, should we, Dan, do you have any questions?
No.
So I kind of grilled Sam. I was like,
no, that's okay.
Stuff I wanted to
I know.
ask.
I felt like
you took all the questions from me.
I've been listening to so much true crime. I felt like I was on the witness stand. That was great.
Where were you the night of?
Oh, I do have a question. Well,
yeah.
Sam, what is your favorite show right now?
My favorite show right now?
We're gonna get into it, Dan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Throw that in there.
There's a genre of shows that I'm so hooked on that people would be so disappointed in me for.
Do tell. We're listening.
I am just okay. So I'm gonna preface this with, I like these shows because I can have them on in the background and like do other things. And even if you don't pay attention, you still kind of know what's going on because it's that much of a shit show. You know what I'm saying? So like,
It's mind numbing.
I live for it. So like, I am obsessed with like reality TV dating competition shows. I don't even like reality TV cooking shows sometimes get me too. There's something you have to have like an outcome at the end. Like there has to be like a winner at the end or like a solid outcome. There, I just need like I need closure at the end, even if I'm not paying attention. I just need closure. Like I'll often be that person who will like half listen to a whole season and then you get to the last episode and I fast forward through the whole episode just to see how the entire show ends. Like that's just like, but yeah,
that's what people do to our podcast too.
So we have to give like a little like tidbit at the end that they could fast forward to. But yeah, no, that's been my jam. I will have that on in the background all day and it just makes me so happy.
So I brought this up because during the pre-show, somebody in the chat brought up blind love. Love is blind. Love is blind.
Blind
and
love, yep.
I'd never heard of this show, and your eyes lit up, and you and Pete and like several of the commenters and chatters were like going off, and I just found that fascinating that's like your jam.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what it like. I don't fully know what it is like
Not
about these
you.
shows.
We're just
no. I am 100% judging her.
Yeah, well, this is a judgment zone, so I definitely anticipated this. But no, but like for real, like I sit with myself sometimes. I'm like, why do I watch this crap? And not only why do I watch this crap, why do I love it so much? Like, why am I addicted to this? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like the drama or the personality types or like I don't know what it is. But by the end of a season, I feel like I accomplished something.
I don't watch the dating shows, believe it or not, but I did get really addicted to a show on Peacock. I think it's called the Traders. It was very backstabby, and that was
is
like
it a reality show?
It's a reality
all about
show.
That?
Oh my god, it's going on my watch list.
Yeah, it's all about like just being a trader and trying to get people to believe something that's not true. It was really
trader
great.
As in like day trader, it's stocks.
No, traitor. Like
betrayal.
Traders. I'm just imagining a bunch of like catty backstabbing day traders.
We're talking about trading places earlier. I'm just trying to clarify.
I don't know if that's topical. The name of it. Now I have to think. Now I have to look it up. I think it's called The Traders or something like that.
You know what I did? I did actually watch on a plane. On a plane recently, I watched like a whole season. It was like back and forth. I basically watched like a whole season of Survivor, and I was like, now I understand why there's so many seasons of this. It's
why there's so much hype.
Yeah, it's called The Traders. It's on Peacock.
I'm watching that next.
Season 2 is coming up.
Oh, I love when there are multiple seasons.
Well, remember back in the day on MTV, there was all those like challenge shows or like there was
like Real World Austin was like the best
and then you had
on TV.
Road Rules, and then they did the like Clash Survivor mashup where they had to go up against each other.
Or
I'm not gonna lie, I watched that trash for many seasons.
See, like there's something about it.
Flavor of Love. I think we brought this up in the podcast a couple weeks ago. Oh. That was so good. So cringy.
My God.
Flavor.
How any of or Kid Rock, the Love Rock, what I forget what the name of the show was. Kid Rock's Love Story Show, whatever. That was another one.
Never heard of that one.
Oh no, there was one that's like Flavor of Love, but it was Kid Rock. A Kiss of Love or something like that. I forget the name of it. Whatever. It's
awful.
Terrible. I don't even know why I'm trying to like bring up the name.
I bet you it's great, and I would totally watch it tomorrow.
You probably would.
All right, I had to throw that in there.
No, jeez, I appreciate it. Well, should we do a quick little what's on a bench? Yes, we got some time.
Yes.
I don't think we had too busy of a week. Let's do it. So let's play this little thing.
What's on my bench?
So Sam, why don't you tell us what's on a bench for you this week or this month? Because your projects tend to stretch out a little bit.
Oh my God, why do I do this to myself?
Yes, you love it. Right, you love pain.
I do love it. Like I love it. It's my own form of reality TV show in real life with a really great outcome at the end every time. No,
what's this dumb girl gonna do this week?
Although I have to say, after editing my video, like doing final edits for my videos, I'm like, well, I'm never watching that again. No, but so I'm getting my grandma involved. So she just moved up here from Florida, and she is like currently staying in my little brother's like old bedroom. So she needs a space of her own. So I'm gonna be renovating his bedroom to be her new bedroom and getting her involved in the creative process. So like super excited about that.
Oh, that's gonna be
That
super
sounds fun.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
You want to come
then-
help? I need help. Let's go. You're flying in soon anyway. Like come in a couple days early.
You're going to LaGuardia anyways. It's only 45 minutes.
You know what? Like I usually don't love picking people up from LaGuardia, but I'll get you from LaGuardia if you come to help me.
Dan, you got the green light. LaGuardia. She really cares about you.
I think
LaGuardia.
it just boils down to Pete doesn't want to drive to LaGuardia.
I don't think you realize how much it means that you'd be willing to drive to
That's
LaGuardia.
that is a big like that is like a love language type deal. Like I will drive to LaGuardia for you. Like I don't say that to many people.
Bacon, egg, and ham bagels with barbecue sauce and salt and pepper.
Whatever
I probably
you
said
want.
that wrong.
Dan,
You
I
know
will
what?
make you the following
Whatever
morning. I
you
already
want.
got bagels ready. They're frozen. They're
No
ready for you.
ketchup.
I'll
Nope.
probably get disowned from the bagel store I go to every week, but like I'll do it for you.
Good. Ketchup is the
Bacon.
devil.
Okay, you can I'll put barbecue sauce on there. That's fine. All good,
Good.
man. It's okay, babe.
Don't get me riled
I'll
up.
feed you. It's okay.
What about you guys?
Dan, how's your week?
My week has been fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Go on. Are you stalling?
Oh, yeah. You want more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually all caught up with my Etsy orders.
Oh, nice.
And I got caught up last weekend, like the day after we recorded, and I've kept it at 2 to 3 orders in the queue, which is very, very low for me. Usually there's like 30, 40, or 50. And I've got it all caught up. As soon as orders come in, I do them and ship them out, and it feels good. I might get my star seller rating back, guys.
Oh, look at
Big.
you.
was big.
Wow.
Well, I didn't want to have the anxiety of all those orders hanging over my head while we were at Maker Camp. So I've just made it a goal of mine to get up every morning and do the orders and then work on whatever the hell I want. Speaking of,
Awesome.
I was dabbling, as I do sometimes, with a coffee table kind of design, and I designed some legs, and I think tomorrow I'm going to try to actually build onto the legs, because you can't just have legs. You got to have a whole base. You got to have a top. So I'm going to try to design a base around the legs that I made and kind of go from there and see what happens. I have no plan whatsoever. I'm just kind of winging it and just kind of doing as I go. So I'm kind of giddy about working on something other than like an Etsy order. So I'm
Cool
excited
design,
about
Dan.
that.
Sometimes though, like the organic projects are the most fun, right? Like
Yeah.
you just have fun with the process, and you
I
learn
have
some
no
new things.
drawing, no idea what this is going to look like. I'm just going and seeing what happens. So follow along, kids. That's it. That's my week in a nutshell.
That's your week.
My week in a nutshell. Pete.
I get it. What movie is that from?
Austin Powers.
Yeah, that's what it is. So our week kind of started out a little sad because we had this like pseudo storm roll through last weekend, and it canceled a bunch of events. So like we had a vendor event on Saturday that got canceled, and we were gonna head down to the Pine Barren Makers Fest, and
right.
that got canceled. So Pat and Carly
I
ended up postponing it to this weekend. And I can't make it. Emma's got an event. I'm going away to Maryland, and so like it's a real bummer. But they
You
were
better
able
come
to,
back by Thursday, though.
I'll be back. Yes, I'm just going away for the weekend. It's okay, Dan.
Okay.
It's okay, buddy. I got you. I'll pick you up. But we're bummed out because we're really looking forward to going down there. Like Ben Myers was down there, and a couple other makers that we like been messaging with. Like, yeah, we're so excited to see you guys. We only see them like once a year, or I've never met, and we're just friends. So it's a bummer, because all these events are really fun to like get to see the people that you interact with daily or once a week or whatever it is. So the canceled storms was kind of a bummer, but we got a new roof on our house. We just pulled off because we bought our house 2 years ago, and it's a new construction-ish. It's 23 years. So our roof was kind of looking rough. We finally had to get it done, and like 6 houses in our neighborhood.
2,000.
Yeah, there you go. So
Did the quick
6
math.
houses like bundled together, and we got a really good deal on a roof, and we're like, we might as well do it and like save a bunch of money. So our new roof is black. It looks really cool and edgy. And now Emma wants to paint the shutters in the front door, and we have to redo the front porch. There's a lot of projects that have appeared out of us doing a roof on our house. So
That
we've
sounds
got
great to me.
plenty of content to do basically around the house.
That reminds me.
Yeah,
I just
Dan?
saw something on IG. Speaking of like repainting shutters and trim and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Did you see a couple weeks ago I power washed my garage doors and they look really faded and stuff?
Yeah.
I come across a product on IG called Garage Skins. They're just magnetic garage panels that you can put up on your garage door, and it completely changes the look.
Yep, I've seen those. They're actually really cool.
I haven't seen that. I gotta look that up.
Garage Skins. This is not sponsored. I'm gonna reach out to them tomorrow and see if
Get
they
an
want
affiliate code, yeah. See if you work
If
it in
you want to
there.
have a whole course on how to reach out to sponsors. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
Way to shoehorn that in.
I can't just like be like, yo, my name's Daniel and I got followers.
Wait,
I
so
mean,
you're
you
saying
could.
we can't do the Lindsay from Woodbrain approach and just like slip into their DMs while drinking a lot of wine at 1 a.m. in the morning and just do a voice memo or video? Because that's her approach and it seems to work.
No, like you
Yeah, if
can't
it's working.
because she's amazing. Like,
Yeah,
of course that works.
She's got that
the
energy.
best.
You can't stop her.
I like Lindsay. Can you slip into my DMs after drinking some
Yeah.
wine? Like, come on, let's hang out.
I tried that approach after chatting with her about it, and I like tried it a couple times, and I got some deals
Speaking
out
of
of it,
repeat
so-
guests, I think we need to have Lindsay on again.
Yeah, we
Oh
should
my
have her.
god, yes.
She's fun.
Oh my god,
The
she
best.
I don't know where she finds all that energy. It's so much.
At the bottom
But
of the
it's so
wine bottle.
contagious. It's so contagious though. Like you just
It's
can't help but
absolutely
want to party.
contagious.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's great. That's the person you want at a party to keep everyone going. You're not
Yeah.
going home. Take off your jacket. Let's go.
Yeah,
and then
100%.
and then she's gone. So yeah,
Yeah,
so we got
sorry,
new
I didn't mean to
No,
derail you. I
it's
just
fine. No, that's
you
I'm-
reminded me of that, and I was like, ooh, I gotta
roof
write that
got
down.
done.
So
And
I
we
can
got
do
the
that.
projects lined up now. And I wrapped up those ice climbing tools. So it was like a production job for a buddy of mine to make these like ice climbing training tools. Wrapped those up. He picked them up, so we're getting paid for that. Yay! They already asked about a next batch. I'm like, let's
Lord.
talk. Give me a week. Let me figure out what I'm working on. But
How, if you don't mind, how in the world do they go through so many? Like,
well, they sell a
they
couple
look
different
durable
versions
as
of them.
heck.
They are. Well, they sell them, so it's a product. So they sell.
Oh, okay. I thought it
them in
was just,
pairs.
for some reason I thought it was something that they had in like
Oh, they
their
like
rock
burning
climbing
through.
training gym.
Yeah,
they
no,
were
they're
burning
not
through
just
'em.
like ripping through them. It's not like
Okay.
axes at a axe throwing place. It's just constantly
Yeah.
replacing them.
Okay.
But that job is done. So they got a different design that I did for them originally a couple years back, and they might have me do that. But it would involve me having to CNC a bunch of sheets of 1-inch Baltic birch, and you know how fun and loud plywood is. So imagine
Uh-huh.
cutting an extra quarter
1
inch of that, 1 inch of that stuff. I broke probably 2 bits doing that whole job last time, and it's not fun because it's just loud and messy, and the dust collector filled up real fast. And just like I'm not set up for like production stuff. The machine can handle it, but I don't know if I wanna.
Did you have the spindle on there when you cut those before?
I
Could
did.
you
I
go
did.
to
I
a
did. I did.
bigger
I never had
3/8
a.
inch bit?
I never had a regular router. It was a regular 1/4 inch bit, but it was the 1 inch.
Could you
one,
go up to a
because-
3/8 inch bit?
Maybe actually that's a good. You know, Dan, you're smart. I like you.
I know.
You're
I'm
smart.
pretty smart,
Yeah,
dude.
He's
but
a
I got to
keeper.
see how much I would be able to do while maximizing.
I mean, you
the
have the
space.
collets, right?
Yeah, I got the collet.
You could do
Collets,
half
yeah.
inch, but
No,
that might
well,
be.
you don't want to
pushing
waste
it.
the material either, because like I'm
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
nest these things as much as possible.
But 3/8, you
So-
could go a little deeper and maybe a little faster.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So that's a good point. I might look into
You're
that.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah,
Thank you,
I'll
Dan.
take
Thank you.
10%. No big
But
deal.
that's done. And the thing is, like, we've been, so I talked about having Emma help out for like the last couple months now. And initially like she went full time with her business and helping me out with my business, and it's been great. But like a lot of it, like first couple weeks was literally me like teaching her how to do everything. And there's still a little bit of that, but like initially it was like kind of not frustrating, but like kind of scary to like, oh my God, not only is this not saving me time, it's not making money, and like I'm wasting more time to like have to teach someone to do it. But now that she's learned everything, she's like taking initiative on all these projects. She's emailing brands. She's like just running things past me, like, hey, I'm sending this to this person and doing this, or I'm replying to that. And when we have like admin days, like I'm kind of working, like I'm working my day job, but if it's like quiet, she's like next to me answering emails, sending out stuff. She's been helping us out with AWP and coordinating with Maker
She reached
Camp.
out to me today.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, I'm going to do this and this. And I was like, oh, cool.
It's getting,
she's amazing.
She's incredible. And like, you know, the initial part of it was like panic because like, okay, there's 2 of us now. We haven't doubled the income. Like, and like the primal panic mode goes into your brain. But then I started realizing over the last like 3 weeks or a month that I'm just not stressed out. I'm no longer I've been in fight or flight mode for so long that it feels weird to be like, oh, this job is wrapped up. Cool. I'm going to take a day off. Or like, I don't have this impending anxiety of like, I have content due or something. It's been like, wow, like this is amazing. So it's, just because it's not making double the money doesn't mean there's no progress. Our to-do list is actually moving in a negative, like it's going down instead of constantly adding to it. Things are happening. There's some brand deals that are actually happening. And for the first time, because we're not ones to talk to brands that much, Sam, like I don't reach out or I don't get that many inquiries about like paid things. It's a lot of times it's just like tool for whatever. We're now working with some more paid things again, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it is literally like I'm seeing the potential now because I'm a 5 years from now guy. I don't want to just think about the next month. I want to think the next 6 months to 5 years, and I'm seeing the growth and the potential, and it's really exciting to see like A, we're not stressed. B, we're seeing progress. So I just need to get off my butt and finish editing my YouTube videos, because I hate editing, but I think I just need to get in a groove of it and get better with it, because I've learned to actually really enjoy editing short form content on my phone. And I think I just need to find that same love in long form, and I'll be very happy with the end product. Because I mean, that's where the evergreen content is, right? You got to be on YouTube or have a blog or something, you know,
or have both,
Like Instagram's not evergreen, you know, which is a bummer.
Although a new study came out that said that Gen Zers are using Instagram and TikTok as search engines over Google.
And you know what?
Which is kind of concerning.
TikTok does a really good job of that. Absolutely. Like there's times if I ever like want to see something like a short video on something or someone talking about a topic, I don't go to YouTube anymore, or Meatloaf recipe. I actually go to TikTok to search the thing.
Yeah, I've been doing that lately too.
Yeah, it's actually remarkably good. People, you know, as long as they have good captions in there, it really does help out.
Well, TikTok now, like if you go to Google and you search for topics, TikTok videos do pop up now at the top of Google.
Do they really? I actually never even noticed. Huh. Well, that's exciting. So, well, more, all the more reason for us to post more TikToks too. Maybe we're going to be searchable, especially posting DIY content. So that's my week. It's just been a lot of like wrapped up jobs. I don't know. I've been busy all week, but I didn't really like finish up any projects except these ice climbing tools. So, and I worked with Keith today. I helped him out shoot a little video, which was actually fun. I was his like videographer. So that was fun.
Hashtag
you were the human tripod.
Hustle.
Yeah, new side hustle. Yeah, it's like, you know, honestly, like my friendship with Keith has been like, I really only like met him like person to person at Maker Camp last year. And then we like kind of hung out in November he was just like, I think getting rid of some material, and we like hung out in a shop, chatted for a few hours. And since then it's blossomed into this like very mutual relationship. Like we help each other out. He needs help with a project. I need help with a project. He's selling a 3D printed product and I'm printing it for him. And like, he needed some help. And if I need some help, I can get him over here. So it's been like really, really nice. Nice to have a little support system in the area, because we got a great support system online, but we don't
nice
always
to have that personal
local
interaction though.
Yeah, like you got Nick and Braden. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's nice to have some.
They usually blow me off, so like,
I know
they don't like me.
But and then Sam's trapped on Staten Island. Not Staten
Oh,
Island.
God.
Long Island.
Long Island.
So
One of those islands.
Yeah. But why don't
Liberty Island?
Enough about me. Let's get into some questions, because some questions for Sam. Before we do that, let's play this.
Oh, Black Betty, Ram Lamb.
That's apparently our music for this. And let's see. I think it's this one. This is from Kimani.
Hey guys, it's Kimani. First time listener, long time caller. Hey, so my questions are for Sam. and I have a few. So number one, Sam, can I get a nice loud "Let's go" so I can update my ringtone?
Time out. Before I do this, this is the best thing ever. I'm just living for this right now. Ready? Let's go!
There you go, Kimani.
Oh,
All right,
so
let's go
excited.
back.
Number two, we've been looking at redoing our kitchen for a while, and the quotes we've gotten have been kind of crazy. So, since you've redone yours, and it's been a while, do you have any advice or things to look out for, or maybe like prices to kind of like stay within range, kind of based on redoing yours? Our kitchen isn't that huge. We like the cabinets, but it's just kind of like knocking down walls and stuff. So, and the last one, and this has been I know, hot topic of discussion earlier this year, but do you think Nick Lache and his wife should be removed from Love is Blind? So, it's been hot in the streets, and you are uniquely positioned to know this. So that was all. Thanks. Bye.
I forgot that's why we started talking about.
Yep.
Let's talk about the kitchen first, because I could go on about Love is Blind.
Because that'll be a short answer.
So the kitchen, my biggest thing with kitchens is like, if you're willing to actually get your hands dirty, you can save so much money. It is unreal. Like when I demoed my kitchen, I talked about this in my kitchen demo video, and I don't remember the exact number, but I definitely, just by demoing anything that wasn't structural, saved like a couple $1,000 just getting a container basically put in my driveway and demoing myself. The only thing I really hired out for in the entire kitchen was to take down a load bearing wall, because I needed engineer stuff to do that, and the countertops, because I can't cut my own quartz countertops. Other than that, I know, right?
What's wrong?
But everything else I did myself. And if you're looking to save money, I know he said that like his cabinets were okay, they don't mind them, then you can like definitely paint them. But if you're looking to replace cabinets, they make these like ready to assemble cabinets now that are actually really good quality. They're like, the ones that I got were actual like 3/4 inch plywood. Like they weren't particle board. They were really great quality that you can take 10 minutes to just assemble yourself, because they ship flat pack. And like, because
Where'd you get those?
At Home Depot. Like they were
Really?
just, and they sent them in like 3 days. So it wasn't something that we had to wait for, which was nice. So like I highly recommend that.
And are they custom? Sorry, because we're redoing our pantry. We're planning that out right now. And are they like custom sizes, or you just pick your sizes?
You can pretty much order them. They come in a lot of sizes. They're not custom, but what you could always do is order them just slightly short, and then get like filler pieces to put in between the wall and the cabinets if they don't run all the way. But they came in a lot of sizes. They come in a lot of colors, and if you want shakers, they have shakers, flat panel. That was such a good option for us, because we were so on a budget when we first bought our house. But I highly recommend that. If you can save like the structural stuff, and if you're not comfortable with like electrical work or plumbing, like save those things for the pros, hire them. But everything else is like, you can do pretty easily now.
So wait,
that's my advice.
Let me just clarify this. So is what you're saying, and I just want to get this clear for everyone, is do it yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me write that down. If that was too long to write, what would I write down?
DIY.
I think DIY would work. Yes. WHINE.
Wine. Okay. Before you get into the next thing, because I know it's gonna be a long answer.
No, it's not. It's gonna be a nice short answer.
But I have a question about the kitchen, because again, we're gonna be doing this stuff, and I have to paint a bunch of cabinets. You're an expert at renovating or restoring stuff and painting over cabinets and things. What do you recommend for like painting over kitchen cabinets, or having to paint new ones? Because I'm gonna have to do a lot of that, and I'm scared to paint that stuff.
Are they wood, or were they like pre-finished?
Wood, and they're like glossy finish right now.
Okay, so you definitely wood finish. What I would probably suggest is you could do a couple different things. If they're natural wood with like a glossed finish, you could get like a deglosser, which is essentially, it just strips the gloss off, and just that way you're not sanding forever and ever and ever. You don't necessarily have to like completely strip them in that case if you're gonna paint them, right? Because it's not like you're staining the bare wood.
Mhm.
But at least by deglossing them, you're already just cutting out so much of the work.
Awesome. That's a great tip because I
Yeah.
was afraid of having to sand all those quite a bit to paint
That's
them.
a lot of sanding.
Yeah.
Depending on, I don't remember what your cabinets look like exactly, but I know the way my cabinets are built. I could take the doors off and all the hardware off and just run them through my drum sander.
Yeah, it has like a little ornate profile. So like
yeah.
I just got that surf prep sander, so it'll actually be nice for sanding all that
That actually
stuff.
is perfect. Yeah.
But I would love to actually take those doors and run them through a planer and take them down to be a flat face instead of that like little profile. But I don't know if there's any weird joinery in there, and I don't want to ruin a door, so we'll have to see.
Well, could you technically like fill them if you're painting it?
You are technically correct, which is the best type of correct. So
Just
I'm learning
another
so much
option.
here.
Just
All right,
another
well,
option.
let's go to the important question. Do you think Nick Lache and his wife need to be removed from Love is Blind?
The answer is yes. Survey says yes.
Explain
be
why,
removed.
because I have no idea
Explain
what's
why.
going on.
Because okay, so they do like these interviews in these like reunions after the show is over, and they ask such inappropriate questions, and they like drill people for the wrong reasons, and like they just make you could see people get physically uncomfortable with their questions on set, and like that's a problem. So like let's go. Let's get someone new, fresh faces, get out of here. No one is happy with them. I understand why. Let's try something new, Netflix. Let's go. The people have spoken. There's even like a change.org petition to get them
Oh
on
my
the show.
God.
I'm here for it.
Well, I didn't know this was such a problem. Well, I'm glad we brought light to it. Our
Yeah.
listeners will really appreciate it. Thank you, Kimani, for
Yay.
bringing this to the forefront of the
Yes,
community.
thank you so much.
Yes. All right, next question is from Malcolm from Bossa Nova Woodworks, also the voice of AWP in the intro.
Hey guys, it's Malcolm from Bossa Nova Woodworks, and I'm glad to see Sam back on the show. Sam, you keep crushing it ever since you've gone full time with your content creation. Congratulations and keep it up. Excellent job. So I have another fictional type of scenario question this week for all of you. If someone paid you to take a month off from all your commitments, supplied whatever materials, tools, working space, whatever you needed, sky's the limit, let you choose any project, no input or supervision, and you were not expected to record any content, what would you build? Oh, also in this fantasy scenario, they let you keep whatever you build at the end. So what would you do? Okay, see you later.
Man, what a great question.
Well, first of all, can we talk about the love? Like, I just feel the love. That was a lot of love. So let's start there. Thank you.
Malcolm is full of love.
He's the best.
Oh,
I'm so
I'm here
excited
for
to see him at Maker Camp. It's gonna be super fun.
Oh,
He actually
love
won a ticket, so that's exciting.
it. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Rigged.
So Sam, why don't you answer that? So if you had unlimited budget, and we had this debate earlier on in the pre-show where we talked about, we thought he was talking about just like any unlimited budget, whatever. I think both of our brains went to like, oh, I would make something really cool, but then it was like, you don't have to record it, and I was like, well, now it's a waste.
Yeah, but okay, but he did say you don't have to. It doesn't mean that. Like, I'm gonna record this shit. It's gonna be awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your brain, you're like, I have to record.
You don't have to,
Yeah.
but we can. Or at least
like,
show
I
it
have
off and
to.
make some content around it. Maybe some Instagram.
My ego needs me to show this.
Yeah.
My ego's there too, Dan. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. So what would it be, Sam? Unlimited resources.
No,
one
like it
whole
would
month.
100% be an A-frame cabin. Like,
Love
I would
that
take
answer.
a whole month, but it'd be an A-frame cabin like in the middle of nowhere. And then I 100% would film it. Just I'm just putting it out there.
Would you seriously be able to get that done in a month though?
Well, here's my thing. Okay. Here's my thing.
Unlimited resources.
Unlimited resources. You get to keep
Okay.
everything. Unlimited budget. So like you order everything you need for this thing and you do as much as you can in a month and you still have everything else you need for it.
Can you get an A-frame cabin from IKEA?
I mean,
Could
there's
you-
probably a kit. There's 100%.
A-framekits.com.
I think we figured out what the Huntress home collection is going to be, an actual home.
DIY A-frame kits.
Love this for us.
The logistics alone is amazing. But I mean, let's be real. Like Sam, you could just put out like a little APB out there, be like, hey, I'm building a cabin next month. Anyone with experience that wants to help, come join me or reach out to me. Let's put together a crew. You can have
It'd
a
be
crew
perfect.
in
It'd
a
be
week.
perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
I love this idea.
Especially if it's a kit.
Well,
Well,
I'm
since-
Definitely
sold.
get it done.
Since Sam stole my answer, I'm gonna make an M frame house. That way I have 2 A's.
Can you make a? Oh my god! Can you make like a tunnel that connects like the roofs so you can like walk
Oh,
through?
Yeah, you can,
Yes.
because this is your
A
dream.
breezeway.
A skywalk.
A skywalk, actually.
skywalk,
I guess.
mhm.
No, breezeway is, I guess, on the ground between a garage and a house, which I always wanted that. I thought that looks so cute. But-
You can make it happen. You could put a breezeway between your house and your shed.
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, that'd be far. Well, I mean, I feel bad answering with a building again, but for me, would 100% be a pole barn or like a nice, pretty pole barn, and
A pole
actually get
barn.
involved.
Is that where you build a barn, you put a pole in the middle, and you have a place to
It's
dance?
basically just a regular barn,
It's
but
so that
I
he
am
can
inside
practice
it.
pole dancing inside
Yeah,
of the barn.
that's
That's
exactly
what I was
it's for. Yeah.
And
Need a
I
lot of
would
space for that.
100% like, here's the thing, when we finally have the funds set aside and the time set aside to put a pole barn on a property, we're hiring it out, because just I can get, crews with a bunch of Amish guys on it that can put it up in
In
a
a day.
weekend. Yeah, in
Yeah.
a day, and then have it insulated and pour concrete, whatever. But like, if I actually had the resources, the money, and the time, I would 100% tackle that project. If I had no other obligations except to do what you want for a month, I would want to build it, because I think it'd be super fun to do. But I'm like obsessed with RR Buildings and Kyle Stumpenhorse. Like, I think that's his last name.
Yeah, our buildings.
Yeah. I watch his channel religiously, and
Same.
he makes
I dream.
building one of those things like looks so easy. They built Jimmy's barn,
Mhm.
and that thing just
Maker
looks rock
Church.
solid. They just do such good work. So anyways, I would build that, but I want one where it's like, because I told Emma, like, Emma doesn't want like an ugly utility building on the property. She doesn't want like a ugly barn, and
can
she
make
thought
it
it was gonna
pretty.
be like this like crappy looking like
Like a giant chicken
Barn.
coop.
yeah. And I'm like, no, like, I want it to look like this. I started showing her some like Pinterest ideas, and it's gonna have like a full length, so it's gonna be a 30 by 40 shop with a full like 12-foot by 40 awning porch on the side,
Oh yeah.
where you can like hang out with some rocking chairs, whatever,
That sounds great.
Yeah.
a
So
little
like
fire
something,
pit maybe.
I want the building to look like cute in a manly way, but like nice. So like when people
Mm.
pull up, it's like, oh wow, that's really nice, and not be like, oh, is that where you keep the cows? Like, I want it to look cool.
That's a new like genre of like home decor, cute and like manly cute.
manly
Manly
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man glitter. But if that was out of scope, I would 100% want to build some kind of tiny home on our property as well. So like when family visits, we got this lovely little house for you to stay in.
Go to the house. Get
Take
out of
your
here.
shed with you, Ma. Well, Dan, did you have another
send
answer?
to pole dance in the barn?
No.
Yeah.
M frame house. I'm
M-frame
100%
house, I
on
like it.
M frame
I
house.
like it.
Double
The
A.
M-frame house. I think that this is a new trend that you just started.
Yeah, might as well.
And honestly, Sam, I want to hear an answer if you can't do a building. What kind of project or projects, or what would you like throw your heart into for a month to do if it wasn't like an A-frame?
Like building an actual like house.
Yeah, no, instead of building a house, like what project would you throw yourself into? Like if you just had a month and that genuinely could just like pursue the arts. I'm going to take it one step further.
Well, I mean, like my winter project, which I wish somebody would fund for me and give me unlimited resources for.
We call them
I'm-
sponsors.
I really want to do a van conversion, like a Sprinter van or a transit van conversion. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be my winter project, because like my other half he does like pro cycling, so it's like we travel all over the place. I'm sick of paying for Airbnbs. We might as well have a little mobile house on wheels. So
Nice.
that's like, I'm very excited about it. But yeah, if I had unlimited resources, that would be great.
Oddly enough, mine is to actually remodel the kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah, you've
I
been
know,
talking
I
about
know
that.
someone
I
who
really
just
need to
did
do
one
that.
of. I know someone who just did one of those. If you want some help.
Oh, do you have their number, or do they have a YouTube channel or anything?
Yeah,
like
I think the DIY. I think it's the DIY Tris. I think
1-888
Sounds great.
DIY hunt.
Yeah, I desperately need to remodel the kitchen in our house. It's that old saying, the cobbler's children have no shoes. I'm
Yeah,
always busy working
so
on
true.
other things and I can't do anything for myself, basically.
So
What
I
about
think
you, Pete?
for me, and this might sound silly, but I would pursue more artistic parts of woodworking and
Why is that
making.
silly?
And
I think that's great.
well, no, that's like I want to make cute stuff. I want to try to make a one of those like beach sand charcuterie boards. Like I want to like learn resin art. I think it's actually really cool. Like I want to work with stuff like that. I want to try to just like try to carve lines into a piece of wood instead of just like doing straight lines. I'm a very straight line 90. I'm an angle guy. I can't like see flowing lines in a piece of wood where and I have friends that like can just take a grinder to it and it looks gorgeous and it's got these beautiful lines. My buddy Glenn, who's like basically my teacher, you could say in many aspects, he's much older than I am and he taught me a lot of stuff. And he can like look at a piece and like see these flowing lines and draw things out. And I just can't do that. And to be able to like sit down and actually pursue that for a month and just like get out of your comfort zone. Like no right angles, no flowing things, do art, do weird things and see what you can do. I would love to get out of the boring stuff.
Well, good thing the sponsor of today's episode is hosting an event next week where you can learn some carving and epoxy resin
Wow,
tricks while
look at
hanging out with
her.
your friends at a campsite.
Oh my God, she's a
Sam, do you
natural,
wanna-
Dan.
Do you want a job?
Dan, do you want to? Do you want to?
You guys tricked me. This was a job interview the entire time, and I didn't even know.
Well, I don't know about you, Dan, but she's doing pretty well.
Hey, do you want to be on a podcast? It doesn't pay crap.
What's your biggest weakness? I have no strengths.
I say yes. I say yes to everything. That's
Well, great answers. This is and Malcolm, great question actually.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
really nice. Last question is from our favorite Frenchman, from Thomas, and it's in French.
French.
On the bus go round and round.
Hey guys, so
Not his
lately
best
I
music.
have been doing much more business to business work than business to customer, client. And I wonder, do you prefer B2B or B2C? Do you do anything different for one than another? Maybe different pricing? Alright, bye.
Good
the
question.
music is so good. The music is so good.
So that's actually his sister. She plays the accordion and she played that outro for him.
Shut up. That's actually
Yeah.
amazing.
True story.
It's
And
okay.
that's him
And
singing at the beginning. The
Yeah.
wheels on the bus go round. and
we've
round.
actually gotten copyright strikes like once or twice for the music he would play
That's
in the
amazing.
beginning, and he would work French in there. But well, Sam, you don't really sell a lot of like products yet until the wine. Or
until the wine, until the Hunter's Home collection. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm mostly really just doing content right now and occasional one-off commissions, but like, yeah, it's mostly just content. Business to sponsor, B2S.
B2S. I think they're a Korean pop band.
Yes, one of my favorites.
Dan, what about you?
I would much prefer, not that I do it, but I would much prefer to work with other businesses just for the simple fact that like their budgets are typically bigger and the commissions can be bigger. So, but along with that, you're going to get more headaches. You're going to get more stringent like timelines. You're probably going to get caught up in contracts. I feel like we used to have a host on here that probably could have spoke a little bit more to that.
Yeah, this is definitely a Mike question.
Yeah, I would go with business to business just for the money. And I don't know, dealing with Karen-ish homeowners, not that happens a lot, but like that wouldn't be much of a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm in a dream world over here. Pete, what say you?
I'm going to give the Mike Coffee answer here. And that is the business to business is the best because those customers are, if they reached out to you, they know the work you do. They're not going to be nitpicky. They need this done. And when you say sent the invoice, they reply back with invoice paid. So
yeah,
business to business, that's where the money is. That's sometimes the most boring, repetitive work you can do, unfortunately, but the money's in that. So if you're looking to make some money,
it can be repetitive and it
could
could be a
repetitive.
long-term thing.
Someone had just
instead of
finished
a
a
one-off thing here and there.
B2B thing and did repetitive stuff over and over and over again. It wears on you. It really does wear on you, and it takes.
It absolutely does.
It just, if you feel like you don't have your juices flowing, your creative juices flowing. That being said, I think the most fun work is customer work. I mean, most fun work is when you're being creative and you have like content that you're trying to create, like what Sam's doing. But like, I think when you get to be the most creative when a customer throws a curveball at you and you have to figure it out, and you get to like see their reaction and like really try to like, and there's money to be made in that, but like Dan, like you said, there's more hoops to jump through. Like that's all Keith does. Keith from KJ Sawdust, like he just does commissions, and he won't take it on unless it's exciting. Like if it's super boring or he can't make a video around it or it's something he's done 100 times, he's just not going to do it. And I totally
but that's
get
the
that.
beautiful part of doing exactly that. Like for me, like I would prefer that. I would prefer to be able to be as creative as I want to be and like take on what I want to take on.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the dream. That's the dream client. Somebody that hires you to do something and they have like a space or they just have an idea and they're like, I trust you, do what you want, you do what you do.
That's the best. But
I just need it to fill this space.
That's why it's so great. And, you know, we talked about revenue streams in the beginning, and like, if you have enough revenue streams, if you can pay your rent and eat meat that week, you're okay to just like take on fun work and say no to the stuff you don't want to do. And that's when I think you're the most happy, is when you're able to take on these little like quirky jobs that make you excited again about woodworking. Good question, Toma. Heck yeah. And with that is all the questions from our callers.
What?
And our listeners. I mean, we can keep going. Sam, what's your favorite color?
I have more meatloaf.
Gray.
Gray.
Don't fight me on it. Gray is a color.
Gray is a color. Is it really gray?
It's a color.
Yeah.
Gray.
Yeah. If I could be like that person who lives in an all gray house, I would.
I think gray is very trendy.
It just
I think that would be
can't go wrong.
Really
with
depressing.
No.
It was all gray.
No, there's so many different shades of gray, Dan.
Like this
at
is
least
technically
50.
This is technically grayish behind me. It's like gray beige. That's literally actually what the color of the page is called, grayish.
It's just diffused white.
It's just a bluish gray.
Yeah, bluish gray. See?
Beige.
Blay.
Well, before we do the outro, Sam, if our listeners still haven't found you online or don't know who you are, where can they find you?
You can find me at DIY Huntress everywhere. But actually, yeah, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, kind of, Facebook, my blog. It's all DIY Huntress. We made it easy here.
And go really deep on the blog. Go way back and see what.
Way back.
She's really embarrassed of.
If you want to feel better about your content, just go watch my first YouTube video or like go dig deep into the DIY Huntress blog archives.
Go so far back you're seeing bangs.
Yeah, you're like, if she could do it, I could do it. Like seriously, that's just how that's gonna make you feel, and I mean it. Yeah.
I don't think it's that mean where like, if she can do it, I can do it. But well, that's awesome. And we're gonna make sure to include the show notes. And the link in the show notes for your new class that you're gonna be offering. We're very excited for that. That's gonna be launching soon, so stay tuned. And a huge shout out to our patrons and our sponsor, Maker Camp. So if you guys are gonna be there next week, we're super excited. Hopefully, you're listening to this on the way to Maker Camp, and then in just a couple of hours, we can give you a firm handshake, a kiss on the lips, and a nice spank on the bottom, saying good job.
And I'm giving you consent right now to touch my bottom.
I do not. And Sam definitely does not. So with that, Dan, do you have anything else to add?
No. my dog and cat just freaked out. Nothing to add. But to piggyback on what Pete was saying, if you want to join the Matt Army for our patrons, go over to patreon.com/anotherwoodshop podcast. You can get signed up over there. With that, I think we are done.
We're done. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. This was amazing, as always.
This was so fun. I
Yeah.
forgot how fun you guys are. I mean, like,
We're
we
pretty fun.
appreciate that. We try. Yeah, so we will see you in just like a week. Literally,
I
like
know.
In person.
we could in person,
My
live in
God.
person.
Isn't it so nice we don't have to wait all the way till Workbench? Like we get to actually see each other before
I
then.
love that there's another event. I
Yeah,
honestly want a third
same.
one in like June, July to
Love
really
that for
break up
us.
the year. I don't
Speaking
know.
of Workbench, I forgot to mention that on my bench. I just bought my plane ticket to Workbench Con.
You did, that's
Hell
right.
I haven't bought a
yeah.
ticket to Workbench Con itself yet, and I haven't got my hotel, but I got a plane ticket, so I'll
We're still trying to
be
figure
there.
out if we want to teach a class, I
somehow.
guess, right?
You should. You should. It's
Yeah.
fun to teach.
Yeah.
Me and Dan have
I
been
like teaching.
Tossing around the idea.
Yeah,
So-
maybe
Do it.
we'll
Peer
toss it
pressure.
around.
Peer pressure.
What would we teach though? How to
Um,
podcast?
I think it
No.
was a small scale manufacturing and
Yeah.
yeah, all that
I
stuff.
know. I
Anyways,
was making jokes.
that's an episode for another time.
How to be
Anyways,
charismatic gentlemen.
oh, you. All right, you're a keeper. You can stay. All right, guys. See y'all next week in person. Love y'all. Bye.
Love you long time.
Bye.
Bye.